I have a video uploading right now. I have two coming out, both for members only. One will probably go public eventually tomorrow. And I'm sorry, disclaimer, these are my thoughts, opinion only for entertainment purposes only. No, please, anything that we talk about here, I always feel like um, it should go without saying, but especially, the content creators I watch, they do repeat it every time. The people that talk about other people, like, I don't want anybody to show anybody hate. Like anything that I say, any kind of criticism, anything that I bring up, and just like the last thing I want to do is like send, people in somebody's direction that I really hope to start discussions with a lot of this. Hey, Gloom, how are you doing? Hi. I I don't this happened before. You have like the name and the comments backwards. How are you doing? The first commenter. And I'm so sorry. I was like drinking coffee before this. My phone was taking forever to charge. I wanted to go live like an hour ago, but I had to wait for the phone to charge, yada, yada. I wanted to, I made a top 10 list of like why I am grateful. I'm so sorry. Actually, I titled it Gratitude of the Indentured Servant. I was trying to be a little cheeky, but it's really not funny. But gosh darn it. I know I bring up Jack Morgan a lot, but like I said, he uploads like a few videos a day, it seems like. And he is a good curator of content for the type of content he makes. And I was just listening to a video a few hours ago. It was like a dad talking about how at first he thought his son's concept of living was off. His son was just like, there's no looking forward to the future, so why even try? We've just given up. Like talking about his generation in general, or him and his friends or something. And his dad said at first I thought it was he was just being lazy, and then I realized like he's right. And so I know in general we talk a lot about recent events and stuff that's going wrong. And I wanted to talk about why I'm grateful and the attitude I have. And it does help. And some people might say, like, whatever makes you sleep at night or whatever helps you sleep at night. I couldn't be you living in a double wide in rural Kentucky, working menial jobs to make money, doing Instacart and whatnot. And that's if you want to have that attitude, I sincerely like am grateful for my life, have that perspective towards anybody else. And one of the videos I'm uploading tomorrow, it talks about this guy has a whole YouTube channel. A lot of studies have studied how wealth affects people. And big surprise, it's negatively. It causes brain damage. Ultra wealthy people, I'm talking about like a lot of wealth, it causes brain damage. They lack empathy because their brains are damaged. Okay, and so it's nice to know these things because then it helps you feel better looking around the world, like what is going on, especially with the way the world is and the things we're finding out here in the US. And there's a saying like just because somebody else has a broken arm doesn't mean that your sprained arm doesn't hurt. Something along those lines. And the video I'm uploading right now, which is taking forever, and I might have messed it up because I turned my phone off, which was dumb of me. But it's a reaction to these people who made a video that was like, "Dear Americans, you're being brainwashed," talking about propaganda. Meanwhile, putting out a piece of propaganda that doesn't acknowledge any of the actual reasons people are upset. And so, oh hey, Fendi, how are you doing? I'm sorry, I keep coughing. I got my sparkling water. Hold on. I probably should have waited a few minutes after I drink that coffee, but it was oat milk creamer, but I guess that's still kind of the same. Oh, hey, Jesse. I'm sorry I didn't say hi to Jesse. How are you doing? So, even though I do believe the American dream is dying, there's still things to be grateful for. But I also believe it is up to us that have had a little bit of the American dream to help others. And I totally understand the young person's mindset of like, why even trying? Because I can imagine if I was in that generation, I feel the same way too. But as I expressed before, I really do sincerely feel like we were some of the last people to have the American dream, meaning we had a family young, we became homeowners relatively young in the big scheme of things. Not many people can say they became homeowners at like 29 and 31 years old. And that yeah, it sounds like a brag. It's not. It's anybody should be able to do that that's working full time like we were, like my husband was, not as possible. And although it was nice, I still feel kind of bad about it. It's like a survivor's guilt because my children, what kind of first time home are they going to get if the one we bought 10 years ago is literally doubled in worth. This is like a small ranch brick home in a nice neighborhood, in the older part of the neighborhood, one of those like older, smaller homes in a nicer neighborhood situation, which is great advice. Location, location, location for first-time home buyers. It might not be your dream home, but if it's a good house, a solid foundation and roof in a good neighborhood, you can't go wrong with that investment, in my opinion. And like, I'm not saying anybody should buy right now. I know interest rates are still kind of high, but it does seem like, excuse me, the little bit that they went down helped it seemed like because I keep my eye on everything. And I've honestly sincerely thought about becoming a realtor, especially being one that's like wants to help people go off grid because I know what it's like to be treated as a weirdo. We lived off grid for 11 and a half months, if you didn't know. And so, yes, there's so much to be grateful for, but two things can be true at once. And we can see the American dream dying, and we can also look at the bright side, right? Because I'm not going to walk around. I already had cancer but for 10 years. I had to have a hysterectomy for it. I really do try to be positive as much as it might seem like I like walk around complaining all the time. It's not like that. It's like you have to process it. It is very nice to be able to talk to other people about these things. Temporary novelty, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, Gloom said. Michelle, hello. I am thankful for everything I have, but I am told I should want more and better for myself, Michelle said. I don't know who's telling you that, Michelle. They might have good intentions. They also might be jealous of the way you know what I mean? So I don't know what to say about that, but as long as you are happy, you know what I mean? And life isn't all about happiness in the sense like, like some people like try to make it's not all about being happy all the time, right? But feeling fulfilled. Gosh, I cannot talk. Hey, oh yeah, y'all definitely were, Fendi said, like some of the last ones. Gloom, be fruitful and the fruit will be plenty. Wealth. I need someone to sell me an Amish tiny home, Gloom. These Amish need realtors. Yeah, so we had our shed was built by Amish people and it was okay. We did ask them to come and make the walls the same height, and they did do that. Like they framed it out for us. I mean, we put the walls in. I say we moving forward. I am a supervisor. That's awesome. So awesome. Ellie, can you please pray for my state? We are about to get bad weather and I'm scared. Please understand. Please pray for me. What state are you in, Ellie? If you don't mind saying, Nathaniel, Merry Christmas from New Zealand. Is it Christmas in New Zealand, Nathaniel? Or are you just being silly? So I think it is important, even in these hard times, and like that's what I'm saying. I acknowledge I wouldn't be grateful. I'm going to a warehouse job this week. I've been out of work since what? Oh my gosh, almost a year now, I guess. And the way I can be thankful for it, and I can tell other people, honestly, sometimes people probably think I'm on something, like more than what I'm really on. But that's fine because they'll get to know me and they'll see I show up and punctual. I'm a good worker. I'm not always on something or acting like, but even just being a bubbly person, people will like look at you up and down like a weirdo. But that's part of being grateful for a job like this is the adult socialization. I really like being I enjoy looking at the glass half full. I enjoy being in a job where there is room to move up if you want to apply for different positions, like a supervisor position, a managerial or something like that. There is a possibility to move up, right? But at the same time, what your job is, you're like, there's not this like huge competition. It's not like what I hear a lot of people go through with their corporate gigs like just cutthroat competition, like high school type shit. Don't get me wrong, there is high school type shit in factories and warehouses too. It seems to be always a first shift, people say too. And this is my first shift job ever. So I guess we'll see about that. And it is always usually more women on first shift. So it kind of makes sense there would be more drama, right? I hate to say that because I know not all women thrive off drama because I don't, but I have to be honest. And it does make sense that it's like second, third shift, there's like more men than women. First shift, there tends to be like more women than men. Every place I've ever been. But I'm grateful just to have an able body to be able to work. Anytime I have that feeling, which I'm sure is going to happen soon, especially early in the morning. I'm a morning person, but I'm not. You know what I mean? I like to have my mornings to myself and be real slow in the morning, but I can get up and go if I need to. But I'm going to remember all the little kids in the world that have to work, little tiny kids that live in places where there aren't any child labor laws, and they have to go like pick through hazardous materials to recycle a certain kind of metal or mineral from electronics and will probably develop some kind of horrible cancer or something from it, and I remind myself of how lucky, grateful, and blessed I am to have a safe job, to have an able body, to have working legs and arms. Like how many people, um, one time I had saying this because I don't want to say it like at somebody's expense. But I Instacarted to somebody who was like my age in a nursing home who, had like four deformed limbs. And it's like I couldn't help but just like feel so much for her. Like what and I don't want to automatically assume I know differently abled people can have great fulfilling lives too. But like you can't help but feel like, man, like I really don't have much to complain about, even with my health issues and my three hernias. So I'm thankful for the safety laws that have been put into place and like the way that things used to be, especially with manufacturing. Oh my gosh, like little kids did so much of the I heard the most interesting statistics. Oh my gosh, I can't remember her name, but I love this woman. I believe she's Polish. She does a lot of historical, especially fashion related. I am so mad I can't remember her. She has one of my favorite accents in the whole world. I just love her accent. Is it Bernadette? It's not Bernadette. She made a video about like women in the workforce. In Britain, it was like 50% of the workforce in the factories were girls 12 and under at one point. This is like the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. Like, yes, women have always been in the workforce. Like, women were barely, it was like a 1950s ad campaign that showed women just like in the lap of luxury, being all leader in their homes, thanks to these appliances like washing machines and vacuums that make everything so much easier, dishwashers, oh my gosh. But it's not, we've always had to work hard to survive, right? So that's another way I stay grateful. Like everything is hard. When I have my self-sustainable permaculture farm, that's going to be really hard work too. That's going to be getting up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning. Like, it's always constant work, no matter what you do, unless you're part of the owning class, or I know some people that are working class do have cush jobs, and I'm happy for them. But you know what? I don't want to make anybody feel bad, but I'm trying to like give other blue collar workers a lesson in how to be like absolutely grateful that you work in a warehouse 10 hours a day. Um, the people that sit down a lot, that's bad for their hearts. They're at higher risk for heart attack and stroke than a lot of us that don't sit down to work. And once again, I don't want to like come off as shaming anybody. It's like looking at the glass half full. And they would even say that too. There's a lot of stress that comes with a lot of those jobs, a lot of mental stress. And it depends on you. What would you rather put yourself through, mental or physical stress? I thoroughly believe we were put here to toil, to work hard. And for some people, that is mental, right? It's not all physical. But I love nothing more than to work hard in the sun. And I can't wait until I can do that as much as I want to. I'm going to get in the chat for a little bit. I didn't see how the chat, so many new comments. I mean, survivor, Michelle said it instead of supervisor. Well, Michelle, I don't know exactly what the details are, but I hope that you also have people that, encourage you to fulfill whatever goals you have. Thank you, Waya Chaka. Says loving your channel as always. Want to get to know me? Joshua asks. I'm married. I'm guessing that winky face means get to know you in a way that a married woman shouldn't. Joe Barbarello, I said that because I take kratom every day and I do not recommend it. I have three hernias. I have other chronic pain conditions too, but like I don't recommend kratom for anybody. But I don't, once you take it regularly, it doesn't affect you you don't feel it. It just helps with the pain relief and not feeling withdrawal symptoms when you don't take it. It's so horrible. I don't recommend kratom for anybody. And I did get off of it when I had my surgery last year. Then I had complications with my surgery, took it again. I hurt my left hand and learning to message one-handed. Michelle said, that's good for your brain, I've heard, Michelle. Supposedly, it kind of makes sense if you work with your left and right side more often. And then, like, some conspiracy theorists will take it a next level and be like, they did it on purpose. They told us that we are either right-handed or left-handed on purpose, so we would be less ambidextrous. And then that makes you less your cognitive functioning different. Kill the hive mind. Gratitude will only get people so far. Gratitude can bring relief, but it won't solve your problems. That is a good point. Kill the hive mind, and you're not wrong. But it will be a great tool if you can use it right. You know what I mean? Experience all of the emotions. I don't. It's not like about compartmentalize something and not really feeling it. You process it and you feel it, but you always come back to how are you doing, Wayachaka? Ceramic said, "Yeah, girl, I'm in Alabama, USA, Waiataka. That's so cool. How are you doing? Ceramic station. I want to work first shift. I hope you get a first shift job. If you do, hi, Scott. How are you? Can you say hi for my friend Bella? Oh, hi, Bella. That's so sweet. She's a big fan, Charlotte said. Hey, Bella, how are you? Hi, Billy. How are you? Bella, Billy. Hi, Kissima. How are you? You trying to buy some bootleg DVDs, lady? No, that's so funny. I was looking at the CDs at Walmart because I'm driving my son's car a lot lately and it's older, so it only has a CD and cassette player. And I'm like, I need to go look for some cassette tapes and CDs at flea markets, I guess, because the CDs at Walmart are still like $12. Like, that's insane. Trying to start a business, but these little brat can't make my shit good. Arch, Archangel, Archangel. What are you talking about? You're trying to get a prototype made or something? Yes, Ghost Vision. I am a certified yapper. Same here. I know things could be harder, Michelle said. Yes, and so I have a video that's uploading right now where I am reacting to people that are saying like most Americans are ungrateful. So that's why I'm like, I don't agree with that message. I do completely understand why anybody has complaints about this country right now, but at the same time, like, yeah, everyday life, what good is it going to do walking around focusing on the Epstein files, focusing on the World War III, it's quite possibly starting right now, focusing on all the horrible things uh, all the time. Um, Hi, Scott. Hey, Bill. Mr. I'm waiting for a call back from Annie. Get the role of Rooster and Annie. Are you talking about me, Ben? No. A man says you are so masculine. Okay. I have to go. My weather is cutting out my ability to hear you. Oh, thank you for staying around as long as you could, Michelle. If you're still in here, good night. Love you. Um, Fendi, yeah, kratom, it's a stimulant, but it works on your opioid receptors, if that makes sense. So yes, but it is technically, and it's in the coffee tree family. It's like leaves from a particular tree. Maybe I'll email you sometime if you want to know. Michelle, feel free to email me anytime. I mean that. Anytime you want to talk, if you're like going through something hard or you feel like you have nobody to talk to, like I've been there. And, my channel is still small enough that I answer every email. Hi, Elmer. How are you doing? Kratom is Lord and Savior. Bill said that is so silly. Oh, I've seen people complain about chronic pain conditions and then somebody recommend it. And then there's always somebody that's like, don't recommend that. And I do understand. I understand both. If you are in a situation where you can't take Tylenol, you can't take ibuprofen every day, you can't. They prescribed me like 800 milligram ibuprofen. It's like called naproxen when it's prescription. And this was when I was like 16, 17 years old. I believe it might be why I got my bladder condition because it I went through it, yeah, I was at the same doctor and they were like, "You took all of that?" I was like, "You gave me 30 of them." And yeah, I took them in like a month. They're like, "You shouldn't take that much ibuprofen." And so when you are in real pain, doctors don't help you. I hate to be that negative, but it's true, okay? They help to create the opioid epidemic. Like that's they didn't know how powerful opioids were, and they like destroy whole nations, or maybe they did, and then they like withhold them from us, And I've had so much prescribed pain medication between my dental, my sinus surgeries, my having babies. They used to give you 2 weeks of pain medication after your birth, and looking back on that, I do think it's a little weird, and I think that some women probably need them. Oh my gosh, with C-sections, of course. But I'm talking about like vaginal deliveries. You don't need 2 weeks of pain pills all the time. And how much did that affect us and our children? I don't know. Those are the kind of thoughts that go through my head. Just get a cassette aux tape or Bluetooth. Oh, yeah, you're right. I know I could get some kind of adapter or something like that. I just don't know if I want to. I was kind of looking forward to maybe getting some cassette tapes because I can't remember the last time I listened to a cassette, and I just thought it would be fun. Have you ever tried books on tape CDs? I listened to them, used to listen to them on my commute. Yes, Kevin. The thing with me is I can, it's so weird. I I just can't absorb certain books. It's weird. Some books I can listen to audio. I am getting the Book of Enoch, or it says Books of Enoch on Monday, Gloom. And like that's the kind of thing I know I could listen to it, but I swear I'll absorb it better when I read. Hate those who change things but have nothing better to offer, Mark Twain said, Gloom said. I don't know what's going on with Boston George. I don't know. He was eating, he made for supper and so it's like 1 day off a week, but now he won't be working 6 days a week, thankfully. But I mean, no, I shouldn't say that. He will because he's gonna be like the stay-at-home parent for the 4 days I work and then work every other day. So, I have to make sure he gets some time. to himself because that's what the stay-at-home parent, it often turns into, even if you don't have a job 3 days a week, you don't get any time to yourself. And I'm not saying that about myself. My husband has been great about that. That's one reason we're still married after 16 years. We always were good about, like, we called it taking shifts. Like, you stay with the kids for like an hour or two or three, anyways. And you have to give, thank you for saying lovely hair because I know it's a lot. I saw the funniest meme one time that reminded me of my hair. It said, "Sometimes I want to turn the volume on my hair down." Hey, Javier, how are you doing? I mean, like after medical procedures, I didn't really finish that thought. I'm left over. No, I was prescribed some in my second trimester of pregnancy, and it was literally like, once you're in the third trimester, don't take these. I didn't feel right about that, and I did throw those away. That's what I did with them. I didn't take them. I took one because it was midterms and college and paralegal school. And I felt so bad about that. I'm like, in literally 1 week, this is like class D. Right now it's like class C, meaning like, oh, it's kind of risky. Anyways, in my opinion, I believe that was from the Rogam shot. Literally right after the Rogam shot, I got a migraine that lasted for months. So that's why with the third baby, I was like, no, we're not doing that unless we need to, because you can always get it within 72 hours of an accident or anything that you're afraid that the blood might have mixed with the mom and the baby. You can get it within 72 hours after the birth. So my OBGYN was like, as long as I literally signed a form that was like, I will get the Rogam shot. And I told him it's probably our last baby. And he's like, especially since it's your last baby, because it's for the next baby. It's not even for like that baby. It's like if your blood mixes, you will form antibodies, therefore, for subsequent pregnancies. Nobody explains that to Rh negative women efficiently. And I asked so many people, and one person told me it was a phlebotomist. I swear to God, she said, honestly, they tell us something different about it every year too. I was, okay. So, anyways, I'm doing well, Javier. How are you? Um, yeah, what is James retracting comments over and over again? I'll hide them. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Because no, God, I do not want more kids. I had a hysterectomy, so I have no uterus anymore. I can't. So nice to not have to worry about that and not have a monthly period. Had time reading what said. So I read the first chapter of this video because I had to make space, but like I did it's like 40 minutes like to get through the first chapter, and I don't know, there was something about, I'm trying to like put myself out there more if you didn't notice. Trying to make more content that's like stuff that I didn't feel like putting out before. And I'm probably going to redo that and try to like give my members some books. So it'll be like audiobooks basically, like not live, me reading it. One thing I didn't like was like I was looking down the whole time, and I'm like, I think I need to do something different, like maybe go outside so that way you guys have like something to look at other than my eyelids. I didn't really like it. Um but I would love to have grandkids. If I got, like, good YouTube money, I would sincerely love to be a foster parent or help children out in some kinda way like that, but I have a special needs 8-year-old, so, and he's not, like, very aggressive. He used to be more so, like, I would worry more about kids around him, but he doesn't have the same kind of meltdowns anymore, but I would love to. Oh god. I said, "Oh god" to God. Keith, how are you doing? If you have anxiety, try to press your thumb finger once is calm builds, twice is calm deepens. I I like this pressure point. I just learned it when I always had problems flying, and that was something that I learned and just like makes me feel better. Sometimes the moment someone presses send is the moment they start wondering why, Keith said. That's my favorite book I never read. Are you you're just saying that, God. Don't have foster kids, you'll regret it. No offense, but humans aren't, to be honest. Well, God, my 8-year-old is severely autistic. Level, yeah, level. I was gonna say stage for some reason, 3. And I'm not complaining. He's a great kid, but trust me, I've been through a lot. Enoch is voted the number one missing book that should be canonized. It has a Christian following of sorts. I didn't know that, Gloom. I love apocalypse books, Keith said. I love books, and I'm like trying to prime my mind. I swear there was I really wasn't a Charlie Kirk super fan, but there's something about around that time, like, I have not been able to focus the same. I got my first dono, um what does that mean, Sabrina? I'm sorry, don't your first donation? Are you donating? Eggs? I just don't know because we're talking about the stuff we're talking about. Hi, John. How are you? Brazil, love you. Jacob, you're in Brazil? That's so cool. Love you too. Are they called trousers or knickers? I call them pants, but I think it's cute when people call them trousers or knickers. Bills being silly. Do you like me too? Okay, love, Brian said. Are you a bot? Keith, use the pressure you as you enjoy the gentle shift. Pressure shift you into your deepest peace and comfort more with every healing breath. Yes and yes. Yeah, but he's your kid. You know, yeah, God, I do know what you mean, but also have so much empathy. I think I could deal with the like often there's abandonment issues, adopted kids and that kind of thing. Like, I just feel like if it's meant to be, it will happen. But I definitely need more resources before that. You know what I mean? I want to have like all of our cars paid off. I'd want to have a house that was like there was like a basement with living quarters and anyways, I we know a few foster families and I know it is not easy, but they are great people. I know they aren't all, but that's the point, is like to be one of those great people that could actually help improve children's lives. I do like I feel like me and my husband were meant to be parents, honestly. We talked about having 4 or 5 kids, but by the time we were like after we moved into our house and we were like not struggling to pay the mortgage, but you know what I mean? Like by the time he was born, we moved in there like 6 months before. We were like, this is probably our last baby because the logistics of having, we'd have to get another car, which we have since then, but you know what I mean? A car that could fit a family with 4 children. So I want to make sure I said everything on my list. I'm going to read it off real quick so I can like get into the chat for good. Grateful for the ability to work, for having an able body and being able to work, for having legs that move, and arms that move, for having eyes that can see. All of these things really are a blessing. And no matter how you feel, like I know what it's like to be in a ton of pain. So I'm not trying to say that this will make your pain go away. I don't mean it like that. But like, besides being in so much pain, you can't think straight. And you're just like grateful that your body is functioning. It really is a miracle for anybody's body to not have anything wrong with it. There's just think about all the different moving parts, everything that could go wrong with the human body. The fact that you were born, we all have birth defects, but you know what I mean? The fact that you were born as healthy as you were and that you can work a job as an adult is a blessing in and of itself. I'm thankful for the safety laws that have been put into place, thankful for all the checks and balances that help keep us safe and such as breaks, like, people didn't used to have breaks, you know what I mean? And, of course, everywhere is different. I know some people still don't get enough break, okay? Like, I do empathize with that. I'm thankful for the ability to make decent money, although wages have stagnated, but we still have more jobs in a lot of smaller countries, like, even with the stagnated wages, I know that there are places that, like, people there's no, "I need a job," and I can go, find a job that's gonna pay me $20 an hour, like, easily. I'm thankful for a vehicle that can take me to and from work. My car has almost 230,000 miles on it. I love that car. I am so thankful that it's so reliable. It's a Honda, just so you know. Thankful for a home with electricity and running water to come home to. I worked the almost the whole time we were off grid outside of the home and to come home sweaty and dusty from warehouse work and not have a shower. We did have a shower rigged up, but not the same. Not running water, not water pressure, not hot water. It really makes you grateful for being able to come home to that and to have electricity as well. I remember there was this one chick that would brush her teeth a lot in the bathroom at my last job, and I always like felt kind of bad for her, but that was right when I first started working there. I saw her doing that every shift. And she worked like 60, I'm not kidding, 70-hour weeks. I swear to God. She worked harder than anybody else there. She ended up getting a supervisor role at the other plant. And it's possible to work yourself out of any situation. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I have no idea what was going on with her, but, like, no matter what situation you're in, if you put your mind to it and you are able-bodied enough, you can get out of it. I thoroughly believe that. I know there's always gonna be exceptions. I say that, and then I'm like, "You know what? There's gonna be somebody with some story that makes you feel bad." I know there's exceptions. I'm not speaking in absolutes. I'm thankful for good coworkers and adult socialization. Thankful for the medical care and the help that jobs often provide. A lot of warehouses and factories have, like, the last place I worked at was so nice. They had a clinic that even my family could go to for free. And that was where I got like tested for Lyme disease and like I paid nothing to get tested for Lyme disease. What is the other one? Like Rocky Mountain spotted, whatever. Thankful for They want to be challenged to be able to eat. Because what is the other alternative? Like, it's working class or being part of the owning class. And like I said earlier, having excess wealth damages your brain. This is clear. That's why they are so unempathetic. And that's why the love of money is the root of all evil, because then it turns into these people that have no empathy for their fellow human beings. Like, that's what makes us human. When you have no empathy for other human beings, you're a monster. You're the worst predator on the planet. And it turns into also, harming the planet as well, because you don't care about anything. And that's the alternative. And there's something to be said about the adversity that it takes. It makes you struggle, but it also is like working out a muscle. It makes you stronger. We are meant to be challenged. I would rather be challenged and have to work for my money, even though I'm basically an indentured servant. Every paycheck goes back out to bills and everything, right? But I would sincerely rather have that than to be born into wealth. I've said this before, like being an amoeba, you might as well be a one-celled organism. You literally just like float around and everybody does everything for you, you know? Now, oh, if you really want to, you can act like you work like Elon Musk, okay? I'm sorry. Elon Musk does not like spend the night at his desk and stuff like that. Give me a break. He is cosplaying being an actual working person because deep down inside, he's the greatest example of like wealth can't make you happy. Look at one of the richest men in the world. I don't believe he's the richest man. Last one, I'm thankful to have my own bank account for my money when and if I need it. Me and my husband usually share our accounts, but that's just a little, I wanted to make it around, rounded out number 10. And it is a sincere reason. I do think about like when my grandma immigrated here in the 50s, she couldn't have a credit card. I don't know if she could have a bank account either, you know? And she was going to university to get a master's degree. Like, but she couldn't get a credit card in her name, you know? Uh, hey, how are you? I just saw Gary. Canadian donut. Ooh. I don't like a lot of what he said, Canadian donut. If you're stand like not liking him, but I just think that everybody was born an innocent baby, and I just don't wish anything bad on anybody unless they themselves have like literally caused so much destruction. But I'm not trying to talk for you. You might think that he has caused destruction, like societally. How is your husband's and your kids doing? Never give up. Oh, that's so nice that you asked. They're doing good. My husband did so much today while I edited. I have two videos ready to upload. One is uploading. One's going to upload to, two are going to upload tomorrow for my members because I need to give my members some members only videos. And I agree. Empathy is very important. Thanks. I appreciate you very much. Oh, Gary, I appreciate you. Hi, Richard. How are you? Hi, Apocalypse Jitters. That's a great name. That is so funny. Caleb said, work, work, work. How much money you make on YouTube per month? Well, God, I've made as much as 600, like it was like 580 something. And lately I've only been making like 150 to 200, which I'm fine with, but you don't get AdSense for lives that much, you know? So I'm trying to make more edited videos and get in the algorithm that way. I really like my lives, but like when I had my high paying months, it was like one or two people that were like throwing a bunch of money at me. And I run my mouth so much, I always end up disappointing people. And one of those people, he's been here lately. I don't think he did express one time like being disappointed and like I think it was like the stuff I was saying about ice. But everybody's welcome here. I just don't like it when people like if you're gonna say why you think I'm wrong, I want people to say more. Like, I don't mind debating people. I actually like it. I like it when people make me think something that I didn't think of before. And that's one reason why I engage in certain spaces and with certain subjects. Thankful for intermittent windshield wipers. Imagine only one speed for wiping, Gloom said. I never really thought about that. Is that how they used to be? I'm trying to think of my 83 Firebird. I think it had a few levels. Learning and mastering the echo technique can help you get multiple jobs you're technical not qualified for, Keith said. I don't know what you mean by that. Oh, hi. I already said hi to those two people. When do you stop exhaling the same rhetoric we hear day to day in order to read what others have to say and perhaps provide insight or another perspective? Are you talking about like what I'm doing right now? And how am I the same rhetoric? I don't know how many people are out there talking about how they're grateful to have a warehouse job. And that's like real common rhetoric. I apologize for being so unoriginal. Men can't wear thongs, Brad said. Empathy is hard to achieve. It's a feeling that was pushed onto humans the past 100 years. Before that, murder, violence, conflict, conquering is human nature since cavemen. It's horrible to think. Okay, Dirty Bert, Dirty Bert. But what about like when we've always had families and communities. I don't believe in that like marriage is a societal construct. I do believe maybe it's like naive to think that men and women have always stayed together. I do believe that that's kinda, like, ingrained in us for some people, not literal enough, but, like, it wasn't until marriage happened when they say that, like, they had to make it so people would be easy to be controlled, and it's like, make sure that men, come up with this fake thing called love, and that was came up so we could be controlled, and then men are more subdued once they have a woman, and I'm not saying that's completely false 100%, but I don't really believe that that's the only reason why people get married. I do believe that there's a need for stability and yeah. So I think what about that? When you have a family with somebody, even like caveman days, you have extended family, friends that live nearby, and you're like helping to fight off mammoths and other tribes and stuff. I'm sure those people developed empathy, at least for each other, you know? And sociologists say like the best communities, the best ideal situation for somebody is to be in a community of like 200 or less. And that just makes sense to me. So, as grateful as I am for the internet and to be able to talk to all of you guys, like, I don't mean to be like, I'm not grateful for that. I do think that it's kind of thrown a wrench in the mix when you can socialize with so many people and you spend more time doing that than working on your close community of 200 or less. And I think that's ideal, but of course, it's not realistic for everybody. Hi, Kevin. How are you? Hi, Jose. How are you? Jose Luis, you're from North Carolina. That's nice. Keys, friends, correct, friend in private, not make a circus out of it. Bill, you are being silly. I agree with you. You want to talk, you can listen too, Kevin said. Marriage too is a legal arrangement, unfortunately, Keith said. You're kind of smart. You seem like fun. Thanks. I know, I know a little about a lot, but I also, the people I like to follow the most when it comes to like learning things are all humble enough to know they don't know everything, you know? And that's what I think is so valuable in the internet. And I it's on private, so I have to go make it public. Hi, Moonshiner, how are you? Like inheritance and estate planning, you mean, or survival like the Inuit and such who shared wives. Well, that's a good point. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Like, is that a societal construct too? Is that what you're saying? Thank you, Maximus. I tell you your future health issues. Wonderful party trick. Oh gosh, Keith. I'm a hermit. I help when I can. That's nice, Keith. Yeah, I think a lot of people are made like they're happy being hermits, like, what Keith just said. Some people, like, don't need to socialize a lot. I'm the kind of person, like, I do kind of have to be forced into it. And I know that sounds negative. I don't mean it like that. Once I am, I'm always grateful and glad, like, working, and it makes me, uh, that's part of it. It's good for you. It's good for your hormones to be around other people of varying ages, especially it's been studied. It will make your hormones better if you're around like other people, like young, fertile people. Like that just makes sense to me. It just totally makes sense. They're trying to say, "How are you doing, Moonshiner?" Um, you're welcome, Maximus said. What are you talking about? Well, I listed off 10 reasons I mean for why I'm grateful to be a warehouse worker. I just got a new job, but I've worked in warehouses and factories for most of the last few years, and I do Instacart. Hi, Perry. How are you? And I have a video that I'm uploading now. It's a reaction to Yoel and Mari, which is this YouTube couple. And I don't have anything from their video in mind because my video is like almost 30 minutes. I did have a few clips I added to make a few points, but I didn't put their video. Now I'm kind of regretting not having their video, but I don't think I could have uploaded it if it was any bigger. I'm surprised it's letting it do it now. But they're basically saying, "Dear Americans, you are brainwashed." And I think it's really sweet. The man is from Cuba, and I think it's valuable. I think it's good that he is showing his gratitude, and I really do think that like that's a good thing. But once they turn around and point the finger at people who are upset about things like our educational system, of everything, healthcare, the fact that our whole government is, or most of them are covering for satanic pedophiles. Once again, I use the term satanic loosely. Anybody that is nefarious in their worshiping. There could be a numerous things that they worship. I'm not Christian per se, but I do align with the Bible and a lot of things that the Bible says. And like I don't believe in like blood rituals and things like that. Like I do have this Donald Trump. Yeah, it's a paper doll. It came from a book we got my son because he was like obsessed with presidents. It was funny. It was actually a Hillary Clinton, first lady president, like, they printed the stuff out, like, before she lost, and I was thinking about doing that ritual they have on the craft where she's wrapping a ribbon around somebody's picture, and she's like, "I'm bind you, is it Nancy, from doing harm, harm against yourself and harm against other people," and I was thinking about doing that with that Trump thing, and then I'm like, even that stuff kinda freaks me out, like, I just feel like instinctually to stay away from that stuff. But I don't look down on people that consider themselves witches and do things like that. I really sincerely don't. Of course, if you're like doing black magic, like that stuff that comes back times three, that stuff I will just try to stay away from you. But I'm still not gonna like I said, I believe everybody was an innocent baby once, and if you train your mind to look at people like that, like no matter what they do to you, like once again, there are a few exceptions. Some people are truly evil just out of the womb, and there's nothing that their parents did or was in their environment to make them that way. They just truly were. But I think that's like few and far between compared to people that are usually made that way through their environment. And if you are really annoyed by somebody, just remember once they were an innocent little baby that like just this world happened to them like the rest of us, right? Do you use this as an outlet rather than an ego builder like the majority of people on YouTube? That's the vibe I get. I hope so, God. I I think so. What do you some of you regulars think? Okay, I'm like I was telling my husband, like this one woman I was watching, I was like, she is such an attention whore. And I was like, I really hope I don't come off like that to anybody. And I don't think that I do, but like it's actually kind of hard sometimes for me to put myself out there. But thank you, Perry. I always have fun when I do, even if there are a lot of trolls. I have been trying YouTube for like 7 years and I've tried all sorts of stuff. And I'm just so grateful to have like a monetized channel. Hello from India. I love your content. Oh, that's so nice, Babo. Thank you. Keith, I don't build ego. I have a healing persona. The neuro wizard. Hi, Scott. How are you? The world is going down the toilet fast. Yes, Maximus. So that's a lot of my content does center around like social political issues and I have been an independent since I was 18 years old, registered independent. I have voted both ways. I haven't voted in a while, but like I'm disillusioned with it altogether. I'm tired of people being divided over that. Like I did support Trump. I did want Trump to win, okay? But I wasn't ever like MAGA hat wearer. And this one guy I follow, I think he's called the MAGA Whisperer. He starts all of his videos by saying, I'm so and so. I was MAGA curious. And I just get such a kick out of that because I feel like that's kind of like, I don't know, I would just tell people like it's why like this negative energy thing, why hate on Trump so much? Like it's not going to change anything. And it's like, I was kind of contrarian about it. He's not that bad compared to, he's just honest with it, right? They're all cheaters, or most of them cheat on their wives. Most of them embezzle money. Most of them do all these things they're not supposed to do. And that's one thing when I was watching this couple, they went to Washington, D.C. And as they're walking into, I believe, the Capitol building, they're like, in Cuba, all the politicians are rich and oh my God, what do you think they are here? They make $170,000 a year and then they end up millionaires in less than 10 years. How do you figure that? I know that technically if you're saving all that, a lot, most of your money, but let's be, they don't do that. And then they spend all this money on like furniture. They have to have fancy furniture. Meanwhile, most of us, we would love to upgrade some of our furniture if we had like money thrown at us. And so that's part of it. Like, once you get to the point where you don't have to worry as much and I don't think like billionaires extreme wealth to me is like not working, you know what I mean, not working knowing you'll never have to work a day in your life and you still can build generational wealth just like the interest in your bank account. And I don't want to make it sound like it's like us versus them, but the thing is It kind of is. And so the working class, if we could get together and be like, we are the ones that do everything, we do everything. And that's what I was saying. Like, it builds confidence if you really know how important your job is. I don't, I know some people would think it's cheesy. I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less. I would rather be me and be thankful to be working on my feet 10 hours at a warehouse and look at it like I am so grateful that I can be a part of helping the supply chain, helping people get things that they need. It really is important. It's so important that we're one of few things that stay open you don't realize because unless you work at a factory or warehouse, but during state weather emergencies, the only people it's like maybe a few patients, medical people and factory and warehouse for Walmart is still going. How important that is. There weren't warehouse workers doing TikToks during the because they had to work. They were working. And I'm not saying that you never have any downtime and there's not any lazy people at all in the supply chain. But if you take pride in your job, and that's what I was taught by my first generation American dad, no matter what you do the best job at it and you take pride in working. I don't care if you're a garbage man. I always brought up garbage man for some reason. That was like always the example, or a surgeon like, you take pride in doing it, like, this is America, like, that was part of the lecture always was like, no matter what, as long as you work, you can be a do whatever you want, and that was part of it. He always told me, of course, it was like Colombia during the '90s. Yeah, we heard about horrible things going on in Colombia. I totally understand. There's worse places than here. That doesn't mean that it's not going downhill here, though, you know? And then I feel kind of bad because I said it's obvious they don't have children. I'm completely not judging that. That's great. I think it's great when people are child free. I'm not just saying that. This world is so horrible. I never thought I would say that, but I think there's a need for people to have kids because, God willing, we get old enough, we might need somebody to help us when we're old. But anyways, I mentioned in the video I'm uploading, like they don't know what it's like to raise kids in this country. That's completely fine, but don't turn around and point the finger at us. When part of the reason why I'm so upset when I'm upset is because I know my kids aren't going to be able to have the life that we did as easily, if at all. Like to be a homeowner, and to save up $3,000, $4,000 for for your down payment for your first home. Like what if they buy a freaking empty lot maybe. And it's like so upsetting. I'll never forget one day my oldest son was trying, kind of trying to light a fire under him, talking to him about things like this. And I was like, well, what do you want to do what do you think about doing after high school? And he's like, I'll just get a job like you and dad. And I was like, it's not going to be as easy. And I already know, like, I already feel bad for him. These are the things that like I feel like child free people don't might not consider as much. Some might consider it more than actual biological parents, don't get me wrong. But I said that and then I saw because I keep getting videos, watch like 2 dozen of their videos. And like I said in my video, they do a really good job on their video. He mentions how he has a daughter. Think. I'm like, this is so freaking sad. I don't want to like talk about that, but he's like, I don't want to show this to her because she'd want these toys. And then I Googled, can you send toys to Cuba? So I'm like, why can't you buy her some toys and send them? But I'm like, for all I know, they do, but I don't know why they wouldn't show that. But, anyways, you can send stuff there. But I just always feel bad when somebody immigrates here and leaves a kid behind. And I know the hope is probably to get the kid here, but it's like, oh my just remember life is found in the blood. That's why there's crazy blood rituals. Yes, and Dono. Yes, I do believe that. I think that's one reason why it really doesn't sit well with me. I think that there's a lot that they don't tell us. And I've heard so much about stem cells, and people get stem cells from somebody was talking about how like period blood is healing. I know that might sound super gross to some people, but it's just really interesting to me because it isn't like this disease vector like you think it might be. But maybe it can be. I don't know. If you have a disease, it probably could be in your period blood. It's just really amazing what our bodies go through. And I think that they have hidden our power like a lot. Pre-Christian Druid Ireland had several types of contract marriages. Women had equal rights under the law, but Roman Catholicism took away those rights. I am Lucifer. Jeff Epstein is alive, Maximus said. Yeshua said, I am Lucifer. Salvation is my name. Thank you for saying that, Peppy. You sound like you're from Louisiana. I'm from Kentucky, NFL. I was like born in Louisville and I grew up a lot like across the river in Indiana. Hey, good afternoon. Mind if I jump in? What are we talking about? Of course not, Anna, if you're still in here. And Anaki, you would look so cute in a MAGA hat. Just saying, Maximus said. That's funny. I did almost get, I always win when I do the balloon dart thing at the fair. I did almost get a pink one time and I didn't. We're just talking about, well, I was talking about being thankful and then I was talking about a video I'm uploading. This couple made a video that was like, Dear Americans, you're brainwashed. And they're basically saying like, you should be grateful to be here because other places are worse. And the whole point is, yeah, and we're on a fast track to being worse. Like that's the whole point. And I have no idea what their background is. I did find a video where she talks about meeting him because at first I was confused. Like, are they ever going to say like how they? And it was a really cute story. She has family from there. He lived across the street from her uncle. Thought that was really cute and like meant to be, you know. But she kind of like wants to gloss over her time there. In my opinion, she does talk about it a little because it doesn't go along with the narrative that like Cuba is this horrible godforsaken place. Which I know they need help, but she spent some time there, right? Like, she had no problem living there with a guy that she liked. And then you're gonna turn around and point the finger at us, like, we're in the wrong for complaining about how we have the literal most expensive healthcare system in the whole world, and nothing just have you guys had a extraordinary amount of roundabouts built around you? Because there are so many roundabouts being put in small town Kentucky. There was a roundabout put in this one place. I have no idea. It wasn't a light. It wasn't even a stop. There's no stop sign. It it was, like, out in the country, like, I have no idea why they put a roundabout where they did. I'm thoroughly convinced that whenever they do that, in my opinion, there's, like, a lot of money laundering going on. However much and I know that it's less maintenance than a li traffic light, I get that. I do understand the concept, but I think they're going a little overkill with the roundabouts. And I don't know how to say your name. Anaki, is that one? Hey, good afternoon. Mind if I jump in? What are we talking about? I guess I already read that one. I'm so bad about doing that. It's good versus evil. Yes, Maximus. Boring day, Jorge said. Not even as a four-manner in the AC tractor. That sounds like the bee's knees for my knees, Moonshiner said. Sendano bills are our motivator for working, LOL. Yeah, that's true. And like I said, just to be able to eat. I remember one time at a what is it, orientation, they were going around the room asking why you were excited to work at that place. And one guy just said, I just like to eat. It was so funny. And we all cracked up because it's like, don't make us come up with some cheesy answer on the spot. But it is true. And that's why I was saying, well, if you didn't, then what are the alternatives? You would either be working off the land, living like the Amish people, which is constant hard work, or homeless, which is also constant hard work, not able to take a shower whenever you want, not able to eat whenever you want. And I do think, I can't stress enough, I do think it's valuable to show people like what other places are like. And this is part of that, to have that attitude, but it's also to make sure we fight for what we do have and we don't lose it. And that's what's so frustrating about people saying people are just ungrateful. Who would be grateful for? Okay, I'm just going to say it. There's this one video I put in there where this woman, trigger warning, pregnancy loss. This woman, much her three miscarriages cost her. So sad, like over $100,000. She did have to have a few surgeries, but it's still just crazy what so some people go through, what some women go through, and yeah, we need to revamp the whole system. I'm not saying that we need to have socialized healthcare right now, but we don't. Somebody needs to go in there and like make it so they can't price gouge people. When I got my surgery, gosh, now I forget, was it 50 or 80,000? It was just insane. I think it was like 50 some thousand. And then all of a sudden it's like dropped down to like eight. Where did the other money go? What happened to it? You know, the hospital just like writes that off. That I had Anthem health insurance. They just get to say whatever number they want to that surgery costs, knowing that the insurance is going to somehow take it down. None of that makes any sense to me. Oh my gosh. No, I'm married. I am so surprised you can still talk, Stonegate said. What do you, dude, you're way off topic. You were talking about Trump. What the fuck? Oh, we always bounce around here. It happened so fast. The one missed paycheck away from being homeless was something I left it until I lost my job, eventually had to move into my car. Yeah, blank space. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that you do better soon. Oh, I don't do that, T. Make America Greater Again was all Trump had to do. Yeah, Moonshiner, sometimes I feel like it's just like a controlled demolition. Like our debt is never going to be able to be contained. Like we're already on the track to fall, so why not make a bunch of money on their yeah. Who was talking about the how how Trump's suing the IRS for like 8, $10 or something? There was another lawsuit like that. It's just crazy. These people get to do that, but like meanwhile, our information gets leaked constantly. I know we're not Trump, but like nobody can sue them for leaking our information constantly. Doge leaking all our information. Trump is the biggest letdown ever. I voted for him twice. Blank space said, "Yeah, I hear ya. I'm really disappointed too." And I don't see how anybody could not be, honestly. And like, I know that sounds really divisive. I don't want to make anybody feel bad. I just don't know how anybody could feel good about a president that isn't convicting child traffickers. If you haven't paid any attention to that at all, please take my word for it. There is evidence, a lot of evidence, in my opinion, that there is definitely a lot of people, a lot of men and women involved in that with young children. This wasn't just teenage party girls. It's like, it's so indicative of how the world treats children, and it's wrong. And that is the root of the problem. If we could all care more about children all over the world, that would be the beginning to a lot of healing. And in a world like that, like, it would be without question. Like, all these people would already be then who was it recently said there was 5 people that were definitely paying clients of his, and, like, Les Wexner was one of them. That man is never gonna get it's a two-tier justice system. Nobody's ever gonna get justice for that, and it's just okay, so if you're not gonna be disappointed over that, it may be the start of World War III. He kept promising us that he wouldn't start any wars, and he's clearly doing the bidding of Israel, and I keep getting a lot of troll comments about how I'm anti-Semitic. I never have said anything about all Jewish people. I think I did say one time, like, I mean, considering yourself the chosen people, but I know there's a lot of people that think that aren't Jewish. I do not think anything bad about all Jewish people. It's every religion has extremists, and that's what, in my opinion, like the Zionists, they think that than the rest of them. I am going to make a video soon. I swear, it's just that law that was signed into place in 1991, saying that our was founded upon and still goes by the seven Noahide laws, and it's like a Jewish thing. It's so weird. And yeah, um, if you're Superman but you're gay, is it appropriate to call you Superman or super gay? Oh, you realize how bad socialism is, right? When did I say anything? I said I don't believe we could have socialized medical. I thought that's what I said. I think all systems fail, and if anybody wants to say free market capitalism is the best. I do agree with that, but I don't think that's what we have here in our country. During the pandemic, they told people that they couldn't stay open and then let other bigger corporations have their doors open, causing a lot of mom and pop shops to fail and go under. That's not free market capitalism when you're told you can't be open, but then your competitors can. It's not free market capitalism when you have all these monopolies, in my opinion. We were taught we weren't going to have monopolies here. That was one thing that made this country so great. And the older I get, the more I see is just more monopolies. And what else? Thanks to Trump, I've lost complete faith in politics. Faith I should have never had to begin with. Jesus is king. Ashflex, yes, I totally agree with you. It is important. Expectation is the root of all heartache, right? And I know a lot of people had some high expectations, and I do understand. He talked a big game, right? No matter if it's positive or not so positive situation, may each breath amplify your mind's abilities to trigger your deepest abundance and resourcefulness. More with every healing breath. Yes, and yes, Keith said. No worries, my dear. You are living in the greatest country in the world, in the history of the world. If you lived anywhere else for any period of time, you would be booking your ticket back. The 8,000 was your deductible. The insurance company paid the balance. No, They didn't pay the balance. I'm telling you, the paperwork showed that, like, basically it, like, disappeared, and they did pay thousands, and then, I forget what my exact thing was. It was like 4 to 6. But anyways, and it did cover my deductible. It did meet that. But so at some point, the greatest country in the world isn't gonna be the greatest country in the world anymore. Can you agree with that? Because nothing lasts forever, especially civilizations, they all fall. And what's going on right now, I think, is like the beginning of the fall of our civilization, so nothing's wrong. What has to happen the same America because this isn't the America that I grew up in. The wages are the same as when I was 16 years old and I started working. That's not right. That's not fair. And it's not as easy to just get another job. People have to do these jobs. People have to work in restaurants. People have to work in the supply chain. Nobody would have anything. Look around you. Absolutely everything you can physically touch besides rocks and dirt. And even sometimes those came through the supply chain because a lot of people working very hard to bring that to you or to wherever it was they got it from. And what's going to happen when nobody wants to work a lot of these jobs because it's just like a lot of people like us? I can do it gratefully because I have a cheaper mortgage. It's not as easy if you were 18 years old paying for an apartment and you break your back for what? For nothing or to not even be able to pay for an apartment. So I do it. And that's what I see is like the breakdown of society is definitely happening right now. Hospitals closing around America. A lot of people can't afford insurance. A lot of people are losing their insurance. Food costing so much. There's people that are getting their benefits cut, people that disabled people that rely on those. Um, but we have all this money for war. Like that and I wonder, and I said it in my video, what has to happen for some people to realize like it's getting worse? People to be literally dying in droves in the street. And even then, I think some people they just lack empathy so badly that they'd be like, oh, that's their fault. I should have done more. They should have worked harder. And I know I'm not trying to come off as oh, that's why I bring it up a lot. I don't think that like everybody can just work like me and be grateful. But if you do and you're trying to have a better attitude, it really is you can take negative thoughts and turn them into positive ones. Anytime you're having a negative thought, have a positive, and then you don't want to feel like that walking around all day. And I've seen so many people that like obviously are like psychologically affected by having to work these hourly jobs and they're not their mental health it probably isn't that great because of it. And why do that when you could be happier? When you could be grateful for the opportunity. But then again, like I said, I understand if you can't afford life. Gary said, I hate Trump. Hating anyone gives them too much power. RSK said, Vincent, we are a nation of heroes, but it's up to you to go up there and become your own hero. Yes, that is true to a certain extent, but it's just harder than ever before for people to climb up the economic ladder. Nothing against Jewish people. I love everyone, Maximus said. That's nice. Um, okay, double A. I'm so sorry, you guys, but I drank a cup of coffee. I have to show I drank this and I knew this was going to happen. I have to use the bathroom. I will be back seriously in 1 minute, I swear. And I'm so sorry about I almost reversed the camera. Well, I guess my room isn't that messy. I cleaned up. So, anyways, sorry about that. Now I want to drink the rest of my coffee, even though it's cold. But I need to go soon because I don't want to stay that much later. Is this Kentucky girl still free, baby? Why not me? Scamdemic, Max said, not pandemic. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Lorray, we Napoli Maximus scamdemic, not pandemic. I don't know if I have any mods in here right now. Want to go on a spaceship? Oh no, I would hate that. I don't even want to fly in an airplane. Hi, Jake the Snake. How are you doing? I'm well. We pay so much to only put in the out the surface immune system fires. Keith. She's already on a spaceship, bro. Blank space. Hi, Julian. Julian? I was gonna say Julian. That rat, Jared Kushner. Oh yeah, Maximus. Inflation burns the value of our currency, Keith said. Yeah, there's always inflation, but in addition with stagnated wages, it's like people need to not be okay with that. Like nothing's going to change. And I'm not saying this about anybody in the chat. Like you feel free to speak your mind, but in general, like the hustle culture, the way people are like so prideful, the way a lot of people you might think are doing really well, but living paycheck to paycheck, just like us that are lower income earners because they have more, their mortgage costs more, their cars cost more, and their insurance costs more. Had a work friend that got a brand new car and he was so upset about how much it cost to register it. And it's like, yeah, if you have lots and lots of money and you really want that, but like I've tried to drill it in my kids' heads. You lose value driving off the lot. We did it once, so I'm not shaming anybody, but, like, it's if you wanna have a brand new car and, nobody else has ever driven it and you maintained it well, I get that, but it's really not the best idea. It really especially starting out, you don't wanna get into debt and, like, avoid debt as much as possible. Um, no, bust, I'm not gonna read your name. The difference is in Mark that they agreed to accept versus what they wanted to charge, Vincent said. Work hard to part, Veda said. Humans follow the pattern so it hurts too much, Key said. No, the USA will always be the greatest place in the world. That's why millions of people have come over here from all countries in the world to seek opportunity and to live in peace. Okay, Vincent, I'm glad that you think that. I think there's pros and cons to every single place, but when you have the worst mortality rate in the whole country, all first world countries, I'm going to say whole world, but it's like pretty sure it's first world countries. And they try to say it's a lack of maternity care. Some women just don't go get maternity care. I don't think having the worst infant and maternal mortality rate comparatively to all first world countries, I don't think there's a good enough excuse to make up for that one. It's clear, like that's why I home birthed. I didn't home birth because I wanted a home birth. I home birthed because it was like my only good option. I swear. It was like doctors suck. And I had such bad experiences, especially with my second birth that, you know what I mean? I didn't have a home birth for the same reasons a lot of people do. It was, like, more out of necessity, and it was OBGYN approved. But I know that we can home educate here. That's one thing that my family does. We can't do all over the world. Like, Germany, a lot of countries, they make it illegal to educate your children. So I always look at the bright side, trust me. 9 to 5 religion is failing, Gloom said. And we don't need to work those hours. It's part of control. Like we are more productive than ever. I often wonder why don't factories and warehouses have part-time positions, you know? It's like so many other places, they don't want to give you full-time hours. They don't want to pay the benefits. But like factories and warehouses always give you at least 40, if not more. And I do believe that there might be some more flexible positions, but most places I've worked at, you have to work full time. And I'm like, maybe they wouldn't have such high turnover and more people would stay longer if they weren't getting burnt out from working such long shifts. I don't mind it because I have a lot of endurance. Vincent, many computer jobs will be replaced by AI, but the trades, including electrical plumbing, will always be needed and they are high wage. Don't think about taxing the wealthy, go out and become wealthy. Vincent, I appreciate your good attitude and you're being very respectful, but I highly disagree. Like we can't afford to pay the electrician or the plumber or the septic guy because they make $1,000 a day. Meanwhile, the rest of us are making like 200. That's part of the problem with the stagnated wages. Those electricians, tradesmen, all them, they would have more jobs. They would be even wealthier if the rest of our wages were rising with theirs. And I do agree with that. I hate to say it, but I think the tech industry, I think medical is going to have more AI than they expect to. But there will always be a need for human beings as long as there are machines around, possibly less, but we have to maintain the machines. Lorray said, very sad situation. Me, how are you, me? How are you? I don't. Weather get to you yet? It's been extremely windy all day today. It's blowing right now. Not everyone wants to come here, LOL. Yes, Lorray, thank you for saying that. Yeah, a lot of people don't want to come here. They don't even want to visit here on vacation, and they like used to, but they choose not to now because of the most everyday. people are fine, but I understand why they don't feel comfortable. And it's interesting to me, the people I keep talking about that I made the response to, their video, it's like so many people proud to say, I'm MAGA and you're the kind of immigrants we like. I was just wondering. So it was like the same sentiment over and over. I'm like, how many of these people support ICE? And if they didn't know the people and they just saw them and the same man was getting brutalized by ICE, they would be okay with it. And you'd be like, no, he is legal. He's doing things right. He's going through the legal channels. And they'd still be like, oh, whatever. Because I've been there before a lot with a lot of them. They don't seem to understand. Um, I don't even know. I've lost count of how many people ICE has killed, how many American citizens, although all lives matter. But you know what I mean? Like, we don't even talk about that anymore. But, I know that's a little snarky of me, but I couldn't help but think, like, talk about playing both ends against the middle. It's not they're like, America. It's kind of the opposite. I do love America. I was raised to love America. I think I'm the most patriotic person when I say, hey, something's not right in the buttermilk. We can't be sustained like this. Our children aren't going to be able to have a good life like this. And what about their children? That's only sane. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, which I would consider electing politicians, expecting them to save you. Nobody's going to save us. No matter, and that's the thing about like there's so much to be said about we are focusing so much on governments and political identities when like people are people and somebody I follow closely, I didn't even know she was Iranian. I knew that she looked Persian to me. I knew she was some Middle Eastern ethnicity, but like I didn't know her parents were both born in Iran. And like the way that there's people from other countries that meet here together and like I just think there's so much beauty about the melting pot that's like being lost upon people and it's the cultures that make people it's their backgrounds it's not their governments. It's like in every society there's like good and bad people and no I don't think that it's not the same it's definitely not the same America that my grandparents immigrated to in like the mid 50s it's not it's not the same America I grew up in and I have said this before too. My parents said it. I wish you could have experienced the 70s. The 70s were so much better, so much different. And then like I feel like we say the same like the 90s seemed really cool. I wish that we could live more like that now. There's a lot of young people that are very insightful. Sindano, I smile all the time. I am starting my own religion. I call it living down by the river. Gloom said, I'll join. No pressure, bills, etcetera. Yeah, that's a rich man is a man with no bills, right? Come to Africa, you will feel like a human being. People always communicate and show hospitality. There's no Middle East, it's Western Asia. Where's the middle, north, south, or west? Sindano said. I'm sorry, Sindano. They make a good point, but that's what we were taught. You know what I mean? In school. But yeah, there's people that still live in real communities that actually care about people. And that's the thing, like we're known for being like polite and talkative. So I've heard, like as Americans in general a lot of people are like, "Oh, Americans always wanna, like, talk and everything." But when it comes to, like, real community, it is being lost, and that is a problem. That's one reason I love it so much here. I don't know if it's maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if it's because there's less money. I just tend to lean towards, like, people that have less, they learn to live without, and part of that is living in community and leaning on each other a little bit, and there's just a lot to be said for that. I think a lot of people would be a lot happier, and people that live over 100 years old, they tend to eat really well. They eat meat and dairy, but more sparingly than a lot of us, and they have a good social life, a good network of people. And yeah, I think who was it that was saying, oh my gosh, I'm blanking now. It's somebody that was saying, where there's some other country and they're like, "Family matters." Oh, it was a man who lived in Great Britain for 5 years and moved back to Iran, and he was being interviewed like, "Why did you move back?" And he's like, "They just want to take your kids away from you all day and put them in school and have you work, and you have no time with your family. Family doesn't matter. I can't live like that." And just thinking about, yeah, you can sit here and tell yourself all you want, "We live in the greatest country in the world." You can say that on repeat all you want. But I think a lot of us would feel differently if we truly did spend time in other countries. And the security country and they continue to change, there's not as much freedom and liberty as there used to be. And once again, I do like this part of Kentucky though, because you do have benefits in a lot of places. Our kids must make 200K per year for a sustainable life. Crazy, Rob said, right? And there has to be lower paid workers, and everyone like that just should be like kids. Or I don't think people realize how many people do these what are considered unskilled labor jobs, but a lot of people couldn't do it. I read that. Spread the love with no tax implications. Um, America first, Mr. Just a Dude. Europe is same almost, Rob said. What's up from Tennessee? Hey, Desmond, how are you? Do you think there's more land over the ice wall? Stone Papa Smurf said. Possibly. How are you, Stone Papa Smurf? I believe kind of in hollow earth theory. Admiral Byrd, that's spelled Byrd. You can look it up. He's like, I mean, it was old recording, but there's stuff about him on YouTube where he claimed to have flown over a big hole in Antarctica. Hi, Dustin. Become a big yapper at work. I don't know, some cool people there. We have fun and laugh. I still got a lot done. That's good, Donnie. How are you doing, Donnie? I'm so glad. That makes the biggest difference. You're never gonna like absolutely love everybody you work with, but if you have a good group of people you work with, that can make the biggest difference, right? I like to think I'm that person for some people. If we are already first, we should help the second. Yo, that's a good point. Or uh, I just feel like we need to help ourselves still. So, are we first? If we're so bad with the medical stuff, I'm sorry, most infant and maternal mortality rates, highest rate in the whole world of any first world countries, all these things that we could improve upon. And like it's subjective, right? It's like there's so many different measures to what makes a good country a good country. And like, yeah, we can make a lot of money here compared to a lot of countries, but it also costs a ton of money to live here. And I've seen a lot of people express that like came from other countries and their family wants them to keep sending money to them. And they have to explain to them, like, I'm not like made of money because I'm making all this money because you don't understand, like everything costs so much more here. And it is a shame. It is a shame. And like I said before, I know I repeat the same points a lot, but like no matter what you make, if you are working, most likely, okay, there's going to be exceptions. All right, like, most likely you should be paying more. You should be getting paid more. I don't care if you make 100, $200,000 a year. You probably should be getting paid more. That's how I feel about it. Like we're all getting robbed. And it's like the people that are okay and like even able to save some money, they don't really like look at the stagnated wages for what they are because they're like we're all in survival mode to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Just like hyper focused on our own shit. And yes, like I've said already 3 times, it's been studied. The more money, when somebody's like ultra wealthy, it damages their brain and they lack empathy. They've studied these things because they're hyper aware. Like, I can't remember the guy's channel. I'm so sorry. It's going to be in a video that I upload. They're hyper aware and they're always thinking everybody's out to get their money. And a lot of us know people that are like this, right? And part of why they're hyper aware, and the people I've known like this, are because a lot of them are such show offs. Like they can't wait to show off their wealth, their excess. And then they wonder why, like anybody asks them for anything. And I know, you don't want people to have their hand out. You don't want people to like ask to borrow money all the time or whatever. But it's just like, the people that I know, it's like their whole identity, their self-worth is their net worth. And I think that's what is not good. That's what makes you not the same kind of person. And I'm sure there's exceptions. There's always going to be exceptions, but you aren't going to develop the same mind, the same heart when you just live in the lap of luxury. You're not. What Walmart, Mr. Dwaffle? Stone, do you believe the Earth is flat? China is way ahead of USA, Sindano said. Oh my gosh, yes, I saw this tablet. It was so crazy. It was like this tablet that was like, it unfolded and then they got out this keyboard. It was just crazy. They were making it do all this different shit. And they're like, "Yeah, some Chinese brand. Well, I'm gonna have to go soon because my phone is dying. I shouldn't be on here like 3 hours tonight, anyways. Um, Rain Man, like your Rain Man. That's a funny name. I like your handle. I talk about all sorts of stuff. But you guys, I have tons of sprouts. I'm gonna show you. I'm so excited. I have 9 eucalyptus sprouts, 3 baby blue, and 6 silver drop. And I'm so freaking happy. And that's the thing, like, I know, once again, I know there's probably people out there that get just as like, if I had millions of dollars in the bank account, would I be as happy over each little sprout? I don't think I would be. I would just be buying eucalyptus. You know what I mean? And so instead of getting your fulfillment and get like that good feeling you have when you finish a shift at work, when you get a paycheck, that good productive feeling, like instead of that, not having that, like that messes with you. And if you don't work, you're going to be working off the land. You're going to be working a lot. Donnie, Lydia, if your husband kissed another girl for 14 seconds, would you consider that cheating? Oh, yes, Donnie. Yes. Oh my gosh. Anything cool, even if it was just like a peck on the lips would be cheating. You know, we don't do that. Like, it'd be different if we were like in South America and people kissed when they said hello and it was an accident or something. But no, I would even consider like emotional stuff cheating. Rob said, "What a crazy world." Geez, Tommy, if you rip a monster fire, I'll give you a like. If you, oh God, first night, or Tommy, I'm sorry, first night. What type of witch are you? Oh, that's funny. A natural witch. I'm lagging. Am I lagging to anybody else? Hi, Shauna. How are you? Gloom said Stephen Hughes. Donnie, I'd like to ask that stupid question. I've actually had people think it's not cheating. I don't see how. Like, why? Because it's not more physical? That's funny. Um, Keith, I'd rather ask what would be a beautiful for your life and be like first impression. Hey, hi. Just saw your live, so stopping in to say hello. And yes, I'm looking forward to gardening this year. It should be a good year. Yes, I'm so excited. I am so happy. Hello from Biloxi, Mississippi. That's so cool, Frank. How are you doing? Oh, yeah, and Ravek, you reminded me. So, if anybody could tell Aaron, I unblocked him a while ago. I think he has me blocked because like, I've commented on his stuff a lot lately. I don't think it's being seen, so I don't know how to let him know that my email is almost full. I don't want to email him. I guess I could. I think I still have emails from him in that, but I don't know if I even have his email still. But anyways, it's probably on his YouTube. I'm sorry, I've just been doing like 10 things at once lately, but so the I saw a live he did yesterday where whoever, I know there's 19 people in the chat on here, and my phone is charging right now, but I still should go soon. One thing Aaron divulged about Titus Morris, this man that I've made content on, he lives in Kentucky, not really close to me, but he lives in Kentucky and he's done a lot of crazy shit. He's never gotten in trouble for it, short of not being allowed to be around his wife's children. She has 3 children from a previous marriage. So I've told the story a lot. He had a 12-year-old Amish boy with him when he circumcised himself. He bled so much, he had to go to the hospital. This is documented. He had to go to the hospital. Aaron said that young boy did it. That young boy, like, touched him. I always said he was there. I swear I've even seen, I'm not trying to put words in Aaron's mouth, but I could have sworn I've seen somebody say that the boy just watched or something like that, like somebody that would know. And I'm like, that is so extremely disturbing. That completely takes it up another notch. I'm sorry. I don't know why Aaron took so long to divulge this. That it's already bad, just the kid being in the room. But knowing that for 2 years he planned this, so when the boy was 10 years old, 11 years old, you were talking about how he was going to do that to you. I can't, honestly, my brain can't process it. I can't even really go through the motions and think I don't want to, but I'm saying I can't understand why any adult would think it's okay to expose their genitals to a child and have them try to perform some kind of medical procedure on them. And so that's the kind of I know it was probably something biblical, and this is what I believe that like Jesus was the ultimate blood sacrifice. We don't need to be cutting anybody's genital tissue off, like you do you when you're an adult. But like as far as routine infant circumcision, I don't believe that that is necessary and or good. But to find out that that kid was literally touching him, um, that's that I didn't think it could get any worse. That's worse, you know? I can't even talk. So that was cool to find that out. And then I commented, and then Aaron starts talking about me. And he talks about how I wouldn't be a good person because he needs somebody that can do like investigative work. Like, oh my gosh. Okay. Look at his channel and look at my channel and tell me who does better investigative work, who can do research and then like make content on it. Okay. I'm sorry, but give him my full government name. I have children. I don't he's like friendly with the man that him and his child death threats. I'm sorry. I'm never going to be friendly with somebody that sent death threats to my child. To me, to my child, never again in my life. I will probably want to seek vengeance on you, in my opinion, is kind of way. I will not only not want to talk to you, I will always have in the back of my mind that you threaten my child's life. And like a mama bear, I will want to do something about it. And it blows my mind that he's okay with this man threatening his child's life and just like talks to him. And so, anyways, if you didn't know, these people I'm talking about recently, there was an incident with a chainsaw. I hope that something comes of that. I mean, it's documented. It's crazy. I don't agree with. I don't agree that Aaron is harassing Titus. Titus says harassing, but I don't think that is what is going on? Were kids in your high school crazy? Boys in my school would jump in pants and see how long it took to get kicked out of class. Later in life, I realized that wasn't common. Slice, are you Slice? You said something funny in the last live. If you're being serious, no, that's not common. What was the guy you said about Hollow Earth? Stone Papa Smurf. Look up Admiral Byrd. It's spelled Byrd. There should be like some black and white, because this happened. I don't know, is it like the 40s or something like that? It was a long, long time ago that it happened to him. And that always really stuck with me. But yeah, I do think that they're hiding something. And I think that the flat earth is like a psyop to make it so people don't talk about anything regarding what they're hiding? I just cover healing strategies. People got problems, Keeson. It's been some crazy developments for sure. Thank you. I appreciate you and your channel. Oh, hey, Rebecca. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm going to have two members only videos tomorrow. I already have one done and the other one's like so close to being done. So I would definitely will have them up. And then one of them, what we're talking about, I know how extreme wealth damages people's brains. And this is why we are where we are, where it's like, how can you not care about like Pam Bondi, all the people implicated, all the people turning a blind eye to what's in those files? How can you not care more about that? How can you not empathize? How can you not want to protect children? Well, that's what extreme wealth does to you. You don't even want to protect children. Did you guys hear that crazy rumor about Hillary Clinton? Did you hear that? It's so disturbing. I don't even know if I want it on my channel, but there's like people say there's a video of it, and it's like, oh, with AI now, even if there was an actual video, I wouldn't want to watch this. There's just horrible, horrible, horrible. It's beyond me to think of any person doing this, especially a woman who has given birth. And like, we just think we should have more empathy for babies and children. And yeah, but that's the whole point. Once you get to the top and you have so much power and money, you're corrupted to the core, to the point where it's visible on a brain scan. And this is what we're contending with as average people. We have all the empathy and all the heart that like they should have. Meanwhile, they're calling all the shots and telling all of us what to do. It's really, really crazy. I started this week, Stone Papa Smurf. Hi TY, how are you? King Face. I do vape. King it's like the gas station. Delta 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, whatever. It's all sorts of stuff. Jesus loves you all, Mackenzie said. That's so sweet, Mackenzie. Thank you. I really appreciate people saying that. So even though I don't consider myself Christian, I just think of things, I don't know. Like Jesus is God, saying God loves you all isn't a bad thing, no matter who it is, no matter what they think, right? Good vibes, Worspawn said. Yes. And so that is something I want to make a video about, like how to have faith. Something I feel like I've developed well. I was just thinking it the other, just earlier today, actually. I can't ever regret the decision to move into this house when we did, to do what we did, because I really do believe the last job I had, it had really good health insurance, and that is why the doctor told me she'd give me a hysterectomy to save me from getting cervical cancer within 5 minutes of meeting me. When four doctors in 4 years said, "No, you have to get cancer to give you a hysterectomy, like cancer, cancer, not the precancerous condition you have." I'm like, If like I know I was meant to get that job and like because sometimes I think was this the right decision because there were like other places that were like older houses on a slightly more land and I'm like oh but like you can't live in the past, you know, you can't regret things that's just so bad for you, and if you really do believe even the bad things that happened to me were part of the reason I am here right now if you really love your life, you know. But then I feel bad because I know there's some people that woman that had 3 miscarriages, man, I feel so bad for women like that. Whatever you believe in loves you, war spawn said. The good energy everywhere loves you. Big respect. That's so sweet. Yes, I like that. You can have faith without religion. Yes, Mackenzie. Somebody I follow said she's a Jesus follower, not a Christian. And I was like, yeah, I can't help but love Jesus. I like think good things about Jesus. It's the people that take religion and kind of use it for their own goods, right? But yeah, I do think that churches should be taxed. I think that would be huge for our country, just to tax the churches and maybe have like exemptions for smaller churches. I could, yeah, if you're like super small, fine. But like most bigger churches, oh my goodness. But anyways, it was fun talking to you guys. I hope I made my point well because like I was thinking I told myself this is gonna be like Brooke Sharks. If you don't know who she is, I love her. I would love to make videos like her, although I don't think I'm as funny as her, but, like, she does a great job talking about her last video was about, like, Christians being silly. She does a great job talking about anything and making fun out of it. All good-hearted fun, great edits, funny edits. I'm like, "I'm gonna make this video." We watched her video this morning, me and my husband. I was like, "My video today is gonna be like hers." It was I can't talk about you know, everything that's going downhill and also like make these funny jokes. But like I'm trying really hard. I will have a vlog out for members only that's showing like our fruit trees because the peaches and pears are blossoming and just the beginning of my channel is cool like yours. I just got it going. Oh, JD, why, if you don't mind commenting on one of my posts or videos, because I can't go to your channel right now. Well, actually, I am gonna leave, but if anybody has a small channel and you want me to subscribe, like, just comment, "Hey, I have a channel, sub for sub," or something. You do realize they lobby them if they're taxed, Jay, but oh, that's a really good point, Jay. Mackenzie, Jesus didn't spread the good Lord's word in the church. He was out in the open. Stay prayed up, and keep faith as much as mustard seed that alone can move mountains. Yes, Mackenzie, that is true. One thing in Brooke Shark's video that was funny was this lady on a bench at Costco, you know, like the food court, the red picnic benches. She was like standing up, proselytizing, and Brooke's like, do you really think anybody in that Costco hasn't heard of Jesus before? So she is just grew up very Christian herself. So she was being respectful. Much love to you in Kentucky from Colorado. Peace, everybody. Oh, you too, Warspawn. So yeah, anybody, aloha, y'all, Lydia. Here's to spring. Yes, that's what's so exciting about this time of year. And I repeat myself so much, but it's also because like I don't feel like every the same people are watching all the time. But if you didn't know, New Year's used to be March 25th. That was like known what was it until the year 1300 or 1500. So basically, like when you go way back, like dates might be off because if you didn't actually change the year until almost the end of March, then like if something happened in January or February, somebody might be saying it was like the year before when it actually, you know what I mean? So when like historians have to know this fact. So I think it makes sense to celebrate the year when everything's coming to life, everything in the earth's coming to life. Was it a point of control, like daylight savings? I do believe that once I learned that there's more accidents, more car accidents during daylight savings, I'm like, yeah, I do think they know that it is a method of control. Hi from Blairsville, Georgia. That's cool, Yorktown. Okay. I will have my members only live tomorrow, and I am uploading. I promise I am going to start being better about uploading edited videos. I can tell it's that time of year. It's the spring. It just makes sense, doesn't it? It just makes sense. This is the new year. Love you guys.